Capricorn. Let's explore this a little bit more and see what comes up for you, Capricorn. Okay, Nine of Cups, there's a wish that's going to be fulfilled. Duality, two different outcomes sit here because they're both nines. Ten of Cups, Two of Pentacles, again the notion of the two, King of Swords, and the Judgment card. Okay, so a major judgment call is needed for you this month, Capricorn, in regards to love, romance, and relationships. There's a little bit of judgment that's going to be put out there, whether it's from you to someone else or from someone else to you. In particular, there's air energy here, so some of you that may be dealing with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. We have earth energy here. There's cups, so water or earth. If you're dealing with one of these signs, some sort of harsh judgment or something that needs to come to light is going to be coming to light. It may be a little bit upsetting because I see someone being a little bit burdened or hurt by what needs to be said or communicated about feelings, emotions, etc. And I think this is going to leave someone feeling a little bit doubtful or lonely even. As I said, two different outcomes appear here. There's two different nines. One nine is wish fulfillment, happiness, harmony, everything falling into place and the two of you sailing into the sunset. The other, the Nine of Swords, is different. It's anxiety, it's sadness, it's just rethinking what you said, why you said it, why they said they did what they did, or why they said they didn't do what they did. Either way, it's something that leaves you feeling a little bit puzzled here, Capricorn. So you're a little bit perplexed with the Nine of Swords. Again, the notion of two different outcomes here. Some of you are definitely meeting someone that's destined to be in your life for a while. Now, there's two cards that have children in them here. So I'm wondering if this person you'll actually end up having children with. The Ten of Cups with the Judgment card. This is a karmic connection. So let's look to the Star, the Judgment card, the Ten of Cups. This is happily ever after, harmony, a metaphysical connection. So for some of you, as I said, there's a transition from a physical to a spiritual connection. For others, there's just a physical connection with someone and you're unsure whether you want to spend time with them. I think you might communicate this to them and they might be a little bit upset from what you have to say. But I appreciate your candor and your honesty here, Capricorn, because you're sitting on the fence here. You're either in between two people or you're thinking about this person and you're still trying to make up your mind about them. Or you're trying to weigh up the pros and cons about this person. Maybe you're being, your level-headed self and trying to be more practical, taking a more practical and rational approach to this relationship or to this connection is what I'm seeing here. But you keep clinging is what I'm seeing. You keep going back to this person for a reason. And you must ask yourself, why do you keep going back? What is it about them that's pulling you closer? What is it about them that you can't leave behind? The reason I say this is this infinity symbol here. So there's cycles and it's repetitive cycles. So for some of you, you're on some sort of cycle that you keep going on, whether it's a vicious cycle and it's just leading you to despair, doubt, lack of harmony, or whether it's a good cycle, you keep coming back to this person and every time you do so, you learn a little bit more about each other. Your connection becomes that little bit more deeper, Capricorn. So this is worth exploring. I like that the King of Swords is upright, so this shows communication. Words, and I think there's breakthroughs in communication that will help you contribute to the growth of this relationship is what I'm seeing. Maybe, in fact, for others, there might be a second person that comes in and makes you think differently about your existing connection or your existing relationship or partnership. For those that are married, I feel like there might be some judgments, but some open judgments here, opinions from spouse, etc. But I think this is good for the most part. I think it's going to learn. It's more like you'll be learning more about your spouse, even if you've been married for 2 years, 20 years, 2 months. I feel like you're learning something. You're always learning something new, Capricorn, but this month especially about your connections, maybe with your children and with a spouse as well. Anything to do with relationships or even relationships with your children. Communication, there's improvement in communication there, which is really, really good. Let's move on to your career and creative pursuits now to see what's coming in for you. Money in your hands here, you sitting on good ideas. Maybe a fire sign boss or superior is finally opening up to your ideas and going to provide you with a platform for where you can communicate these ideas. 8 of Wands with the Chariot card. Definitely fame in your destiny for some of you. The Star card with the Chariot card indicates being a driver of success, having wonderful things ahead for you, which is very, very nice here. Moving into recognition, because the Chariot brings success and acceleration forward with a project, as well as the Eight of Wands accompanying the Chariot card. This is all about synchronicity and things aligning very, very nicely, but there's still steps you need to take for some of you. For others, I feel like you're leaving a job behind to start something new, a new career path, a new industry altogether, maybe in one of the industries I've mentioned here. So it could be in production, maybe in advertisement, marketing. You know, you did have the Star card. Maybe it's in finance. You do have the Five of Pentacles as well, which does denote finance too. But what's interesting though with the Two of Swords, I guess the Two of Swords, the Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, is that there's something significant happening around career where someone is walking away or being left behind. Now I'm wondering if you're dealing with a Cancer or a Virgo here at work, possibly an air sign as well. Could even be fire too, could be any sign really, but there's something about leaving a project behind or feeling shut away from a project. But I think this has to happen, Capricorn, because you have to take over somewhere else. There's something else that I think you're destined to do, and maybe this is a wake-up call for you that this isn't what you're meant to be doing, because there is healing. So, you know, the healing that I mentioned with the Star card here in the general reading could be applicable to your career and creative pursuits. That for some that have had some sort of partnership, maybe you're still clinging onto a business partnership and it's no longer working, you're no longer seeing eye to eye, you no longer have the same visions, plans and goals, maybe the same business acumen as you once had together, maybe there's a lack of compatibility between the two of you, yet you're still holding on to this. But someone's going to walk away, and it's not something you can control, Capricorn. It's outside of your control actually. But I think with them walking away, they might be depleting your funds somehow. So whether this is because they want out of the business and in turn all their financial investments go with them, and this in turn leaves you a little bit, financially unsteady, you will come out of this because you have the Queen of Pentacles present, which is higher than the 4 and the 5. So obviously there's some gains here, maybe towards the end of the month, maybe not right away, but it's almost like you'll have to encounter the obstacles first. So there is barriers in different areas of your life. Because there's a block, someone's saying no, and I have a feeling it might be connected or tied into loosely with the Emperor here. It's almost like there's an idea you want to press forward. You'd be very successful at doing it, at advocating this idea, at championing this idea, absolutely, but there's a block right now. Someone is walking away from your idea or walking away from your project. So it's either A, you end up doing it on your own anyway without the jurisdiction of this superior or this boss, or maybe you implement it as a creative pursuit with the Hermit card here. This is a card of autonomy, self-governance, self-jurisdiction. So maybe this is something you'll be doing yourself, Capricorn, because if it's not something someone else will agree to or allow you to do, it's actually something you might endeavor to target on your own, with your own finances, your own state of mind, etc. So maybe there's a collaboration that once upon a time was very great and opened a lot of doors for you, and maybe this is time to go separate ways from this person, this business partner, and maybe it's the block, but you'll actually prevail anyway. The Chariot card is here, so you'll actually be doing this on your own, but I think you might have everything you've ever wanted this way. Maybe the money might be a little bit less, but I think you'll be much happier doing it on your own, actually, is what I'm seeing here. For others, you need to be careful in regards to pay or payment situation here. Maybe something that was once promised to you in your career, or maybe there's a probation period that once you completed, you were promised a higher pay or something like this is coming up. So I think, it's something you need to look over. And if it is, you need to communicate this, that there's lack of payment here, or, it's not going as the business intended, as the company had promised you maybe as well. So that's quite interesting. Some of you, if there's a work compensation case, I feel like you're going to receive money. There might be delays, but in the end, I think you'll ultimately receive your dividends. So whatever it is that you're entitled to, maybe it's work compensation, maybe it's sick leave, pay leave, maybe you've left altogether and you're still entitled to a bit of money. I feel like this is you might encounter obstacles to get it, but eventually you will get it, whether it is at the end of this month or early next month. So I will leave it at that, Capricorn. Thank you so much